Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Mahoutsukai no Yome Season 2, Part 1, Episode 8. almost, whatchamacallit, Attack on Titan, with final season Part 2 episode, last Part 17, Part 2 final, or whatever the fuck is releasing this season. Something thereabouts. Now, right from the get-go, I recorded 2 episodes of different anime, Major Record and Zom 100, right before this one. So if I seem a little bit tired, that's why. That's my explanation. That's my excuse. I need to start recording multiple episodes a day if I hope to finish the series that I started before the next season starts. And if you wonder which shows I'm going to be watching during fall 2023, I streamed it. I streamed my look at it, so you might want to check it out check out the VOD. Now the VOD is like 4 hours long though. So set it somewhere in the background and go do something else on another monitor or whatever you want to do. Regardless, what happened in the previous episode was a lot of mysterious things, mostly surrounding Philomela. A good chunk of this episode was Elias just speaking to another member of the faculty about his not relationship with Chise, but I guess kinda sorta, you could say that. During the whole thing where they were climbing the climbing wall, but that's like fairly inconsequential. The most important thing, I think, at least. And there was also a continuation of Alice's little storyline, how she started learning shooting, learning her gun skills a little bit more, and she even got a permission from the school faculty. So that's good. Good for her. Good for her. At the same time, of course, Renfred had a little bit of a talk with who was it? With Adolf about how he wants to protect Alice. He treats her as his daughter, but now she's older. She's not a kid anymore, etc., etc. Typical parents' woes. Essentially, trying to come to terms with the fact that their kid is, growing up. But the most important part, I think, is regarding Philomela. She got a mysterious letter, and then she had to visit her family somewhere out in the boons in a very ominous manner. In that manner, she was treated very badly by people in there, including her own grandmother, except not grandmother. I'm still not entirely 100% sure what their relationship is, what their family ties are, but Philomela is apparently a daughter of an heiress of this family, but someone fucked something up and she no longer I'm not sure, but she's a persona non grata for the most part. She has a shadow demon based on Greek mythology, if I'm not mistaken, so that's a thing now. She can just summon her, and she is of course having issues with the fact that Chise, or rather Ruth, was able to notice her, and that's probably because of emotions. That mages can smell, see emotions, whatever you want to call it. And sure, Philomela can conceal her presence in all sorts of ways, but not in the realm of emotions, which is interesting. Which is very interesting, not gonna lie. Then she visited her grandmother, got slapped in the face. The grandmother has black sclera, which is never a good sign. And she got a gift of some description. We're not sure what that gift is, but probably nothing good. And we also we also learned that Philomela was allowed to attend the school, attend the academy, only because of Veronica. Which is interesting, because why would Veronica want Philomela to be there? Childhood friends or something of the sort? Probably not. So what's Veronica's deal? What's her angle? I wonder. We do know about Philomela's childhood friend, and that seems to be Rian, who now has beef with her because of Philomela's family. Rian's family got eradicated, and now, of course, he no longer likes Philomela, but they used to be childhood friends, so that's interesting. Perhaps there is some friendship to be rebuilt there. I'm not sure. We will see about that. Philomela is massively sketchy, though, so I wonder where that goes, where her character goes. Is she gonna be saved by Chise, and if so, how exactly? And last but not least, bushcraft. We are now going for a little bit of a trip up into the wilderness of Scotland, learning how to live in the forest without magic, by just using knives, tarps, starting a fire with sticks, etc., etc., etc. Because a mage or a sorcerer in this case must be resilient, must know how to survive in under any circumstances. And I think that sums up the previous episode. I hope today's episode does not follow the kind of established structure of school episode, followed by a talking episode, followed by a school episode, followed by a talking episode. I hope today's episode is not a talking episode, but rather that it continues from the mystery of the previous one and slowly but surely resolves it. We've also seen some flowers wither by the end of the previous episode, and an eye being hidden in the bushes observing Chise. And who was she with? I think she was with Lucy. I'm not sure. But Chise was with someone, and a mysterious magical eye observed them from the bushes. Perhaps Philomela's familiar, perhaps something else entirely. We don't know. And we won't know if we don't watch this episode. So how about we do just that? To do it, you will of course need your subs down below to follow along with me. I'm going to need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm also gonna have to ask you guys for your support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching episode 8 of Ancient Magus Bride Season 2 Part 1 in 3, 2, 1, go. That's a very nice vista. Just clean cut in one. Chise, how good are you at cutting wood? Oh, hello, Elias. Were you in the bushes? Ah. I really enjoyed this opening. I wonder what's gonna be the OP of the second part of the second season. It's airing soon-ish. I think like within 2 weeks from now, something thereabouts. 10, 11 days? I'm not sure, honestly. Haven't looked into the exact airing dates of fall 2023 shows quite yet. Can I clean my glasses before the actual show starts? I think I can. Yeah, good enough. Has to suffice. Yeah, part 2, so a two-parter. I mean, he can probably teleport with his, like, thorn circle or what have you. Yeah. Elias being there would genuinely defeat the purpose. What? Oh, he only sent half of himself. Okay. Okay. Sure. I guess it is a way to not be useful and still observe her. And he's being helpful. Oh, hello, spirits of the water. I guess it's kinda impossible for Chise to not have help. Even if she doesn't want to, she will get help from the neighbors. Your dragon arm hurts? Yeah, easy. Using flint and steel isn't really that hard. You just need very fine shavings. Like, don't shave with the blade, but rather put the blade like that and shave off singular, whatchamacallit, fibers of the wood. That's how you get really fine kindling. Oh, hello, Kelpie. Yeah, it's a Kelpie. A heuszkę. Okay, maybe a heuszka. Why not? First time I hear of it, but sure. I mean, it's a neighbor, so I somehow doubt that it would actually hurt Chise. It's a Chekhov's gun, though, isn't it? He will have to ride it bareback. Or someone's gonna ride it and be in danger. At least one of them. Ask. Talk about it. I mean, you're friends, you're roomies. Chise will probably be willing to talk about the intricacies of being a mage. Who's laughing? Someone's having fun in the tent, or is it the neighbors? Okay, so even Chise is confused about it. I mean, okay, Elias being here kind of defeats the purpose, but Ruth is always with you. He's your familiar after all. So it's not like you need to train for survival without Ruth. I mean, I don't know, maybe there is some magic that can separate her from Ruth. When she was visiting Rahab, was Ruth with her? I'm not sure. Is that the eye we've seen in the previous episode, I wonder? Oh, hello, Philomela. Sup? That's why you have bags under your eyes. Oh, you smell the tea that you gave her. Okay. That's cool. That's good. Chise likes speaking strays. She's just a nice person. I can fix her, essentially. I mean, explain at least. Yeah. And yet you are training to be one. Yeah. Surrounded by sorcerers. And she's not gonna talk, of course. There's some deeply rooted reason. Maybe sorcerer killed her parents or something. Right, let's eat some snakes. Snake soup. Why not? You shouldn't have wrestled in the stream. And another day goes by. I mean, you weren't the only ones for whom it felt like an instant. Oh? You're talking about teaching Elias? Is that your goal? Because besides that, you don't really have any, like, long-term goals. Only if you talk about it. Ruth, protect her. Someone's gonna nab her in the dark. Yep, a book. Withering Flowers. We've seen this book before, haven't we? Okay, what's going on? Some shenanigans are about to happen. Take Ruth and look for her. passed out. A vampire or something? Energy vampire kind of sort of creature? Yeah. You're overflowing with mana and you can always ask neighbors for a little more. Okay, easy. I thought it's gonna require some ritual or a kiss or something of the sort. Whomst? Oh, a Cyclops? I guess it's a Cyclops. No, wait. No, sorry, it's Irish mythology. The Ireland was inhabited by like one-eyed giants initially. I think there's something like that. And then Tuatha De Danann, I think, chased them off or something like that. Naklavi, sure. Sure looks like a centaur, though. And she's gonna make use of the not Kelpie. Okay, everybody felt it. Even Joe. I mean, fair. Okay. Yeah, she's been sucked dry. Oh, so they can see the Naklavi as well? Petrification? Okay, not a complete petrification, but at least stopping it a little. Yeah, it requires magic, I would assume. And here's the toxic mist. Okay, they are safe. I mean, yeah, you wanted it, Chise. Now you have to deal with it. Yeah, fair. Possibly. It seemed friendly at the very least. So is it a Kelpie, or will it drown Chise and devour her? Nobody else is reacting to any of it. Also, fairies kinda hate you, Rian, so... A key? I guess the horse allowed Rian to ride it, okay. Maybe not all fairies hate him. I guess. Will it enter the lake though? Or will it just stop on the shore? Dinner time. Or not. Or it can be kicked in. Okay, I guess that also works. And forget driving it off, it's just gonna shatter. Yep. Okay, so it's still alive. Yeah? Dragon arm powers activate? Dragon arm powers activate. Yes! I was waiting for the dragon powers. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. Now grab Elias and swim to the surface. Okay, she forgot she can't breathe underwater. Okay, halberd. Apparently, a key can turn into a halberd. Okay. So he has his strengths as well. And fairies loathe iron. So of course they will be driven away by an iron weapon. Yeah, he just sucked off all the water. Now your hand looks a little bit more monstrous than usual. You used to not have sharp talons. Is every use of this power going to make her hand a little bit more monstrous? Good, horsey. I can give you my hair. Yeah, nobody to eat. Right. And a new hairstyle. Okay, her arm seems back to normal. The face of a murderer, huh? Is that what you're trying to say? And that's it. That's the episode. Okay. I really liked this one. I was afraid it's gonna be another slow one, but thankfully not. Thankfully we get some action, some story. But still plenty left that is unexplained and still mysterious, right? That dark blob with a purple eye rising from the water. Philomela's deal, her gift, and whatnot. Or was that blob rising from the water the not center? Because I think it had a purple eye. I'm not sure. Okay, how long until smiling Philomela? That's what I want to know. How long until this in the show? Spoilers. Hello, Cartaphilus. So I assume the next episode will be a slow talking episode with Chise back at the cottage. Oh, I'm gonna have to brace myself for it. But right now, let's brace for this episode again, shall we? Beautiful, beautiful vistas. I always wanted to visit Scotland. Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. I think they are in my like 3 countries that I always wanted to visit, with Norway and Finland and Iceland being the next trio. But Scotland is definitely my like top 1 country that I would like to visit. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Yeah, if there was somewhere I would consider moving overseas if I no longer wanted to live in Poland or couldn't live in Poland for whatever reason, I would go to Scotland. 100%. Chise is using this hatchet like a katana on a tatami mat. You're not gonna get a clean cut like that from a hatchet. You're just not. So either the hatchet is incredibly sharp, or she's incredibly strong, or there's some magic at play. She seems kind of surprised at what happened. So maybe there is some magic at play. Maybe neighbors helping her. Elias is coming with. Yeah, I just have to make sure I'm not useful to you. So I'm just gonna split myself in half. Why not? Apparently Elias can do that now. And then he's teaching at school and students are wondering why the fuck is... Why does he have only half his face? I don't do this often, so I can't share my vision or any other senses concurrently, but once I'm in one piece, they'll be shared. Okay, I'm not quite my full self without the other piece, so I'll stay at home. And he doesn't have the powers. He can't really actively help Chise with his magic and whatnot, but he can at least give her advice and help her fish. That's a lot of neighbors. A lot of old stories about them from Scotland and northern England. Yep. Anxiety, starting a fire, and this is not a Kelpie, but an Eheushka. Okay. Let's Google it. Each Uiske. Eheushka. Sure enough, water spirit in Scottish folklore. Literally means water horse, and it is indeed anglicized to Eheushka. Or, Eheushka. Or Eheushkia. In Ireland, or Kabel-Ushte on the Isle of Man. Okay, good to know. Supposed skeleton of an Eheushka. Water horse, perhaps the fiercest and most dangerous of all the water horses. So apparently Scotland has a lot of water horses. They live in the sea lochs and freshwater lochs. Shapeshifter disguising itself as a fine horse pony or a handsome man or an enormous bird. If you mount it, it's safe as long as Eheushka is ridden on in the interior of land. However, the merest glimpse or smell of water means the beginning of the end for the rider. For the Eheushka's skin becomes adhesive, and the creature immediately goes to the deepest part of the loch with its victim. After the victim has drowned, the Eheushka tears him apart and devours the entire body, except for the liver, which floats to the surface. Okay. Sure. There we go. So they were lucky that they managed to jump off, because apparently Eheushka's skin becomes adhesive, but it didn't in this case. The river, I'll be at the lake ahead of the river. I was hoping for Chise to talk with Lucy a little bit more. They are roommates, they should get to know each other and befriend each other. And here's this thing, and I think this is the Not Centaur. I was initially confused, what's this blob? It kind of reminded me of the corruption from the lake from season 1 on the Cat Island, but it's the Not Centaur. Meeting Philomela, talking to Philomela, and of course Philomela being the usual loner self, but she keeps the tea, she keeps the potpourri with her, which is nice, which is cool, because it means that she trusts Chise at least a little bit. She has some she feels a little bit of connection, right? She didn't toss it, she didn't, you know, burn it or throw it away or anything of the sort. She keeps it on her own. So it shows that there is a path into her heart, there is a path into her soul, there is a path that can make her a friend. It's not exactly that she's relatable. I guess she is relatable to you because you also come from an abusive family, Chise. Except Philomela never left her abusive family. I think that's how you are similar. That's how you see her as relatable. And she's blushing cutely as you are holding her in your arms, so so maybe there's something there as well. I think she could talk more. Make her Chise. She's gonna need an extrovertic friend. I mean, Chise is not much of an extrovert, but certainly more extroverting than Philomela. I hate sorcerers, but we don't know why. Again, probably sorcerers killed her family or something. That's usually how it goes. And there's a lot I need to accomplish. I guess we will slowly be opening all of the characters that we meet. We already had Zoe open up to us. We know about his past, we know about his history and whatnot. Yeah, who's gonna be next? Alice has opened up. We know about her backstory, her motivations, and whatnot. I wonder whether it will be Lucy or Philomela who will be next. Or perhaps Rian. Rian is also a candidate. There's something I need to do too, actually. Teaching Elias, of course. But she's not gonna say it. Why don't you tell me what it is? Well, you first. You go first, Lucy. I wonder, did we skip over them talking about their goals and aspirations, or did Chise just not say anything and they ignore Lucy and went to sleep? A book. What's with that book? Is it like a magic book that can summon monsters, I wonder? Well, monsters, neighbors. Let's see. Where is Ancient Magus Bride? It's probably earlier. There it is, Ancient Magus Bride. Someone has a book. Someone has a book that summons monsters. And this will be my minute 11. Episode 8. 1100. There we go. Okay. Or maybe not. Oh, that book probably sucks out mana instead. The book sucks up mana, doesn't summon, because Lucy's mana was sucked up, and the not Cyclops, not Centaur doesn't do that, so it had to be something else. Is someone trying to amass large amounts of mana for some big spell? Another thing worth noting down. Someone's collecting mana for a big spell. Whatever that spell might be. I wonder... another theory. The book is Grandma's gift to Philomela. The sucking book is Granny's gift to Philomela, and it's Philomela who goes around sucking up mana. It's Philomela who collects mana because she's being forced into it by her family, or something along those lines. Can we not share any with her? Sure you can, and it's easy. Equilibrium, essentially. There are two vessels, one has more mana, the other has less mana. Mana from the vessel that has mana will flow naturally to the vessel with no mana. I really thought there's gonna be some ritual required, a spell, a help of a neighbor, a kiss, or giving her a hair, strand of hair to eat, or, you know, something like that, but apparently just proximity is enough. My senses have broadened. Yeah, she can now see much more. And much easier to sense. And it's not a centaur. It is a... Naklavi. Let's Google it. Nutskellavi. Naklavi. Horse-like demon from Orcadian folklore this time around. That combines equine and human elements. British folklorist Catherine Briggs called it the nastiest of all the demons of Scotland's Northern Isles. Naklaweev's breath was thought to wilt crops and thicken livestock, and the creature was held responsible for droughts and epidemics on land despite being predominantly a sea dweller. A graphic description of the Naklaweev as it appears on land was given by an islander who claimed to have had a confrontation with it, but accounts describing the details of the creature's appearance are inconsistent. I mean, of course, it's folklore. In common with many other sea monsters, it is unable to tolerate fresh water, therefore those it is pursuing have only to cross a river or stream to be rid of it. The Naklaweev is kept in confinement during the summer months by the Mother of the Sea, an ancient Orcadian spirit and the only one able to control it. Orcadian folklore had a strong Scandinavian influence, and it may be that the Naklaweev is a composite of a water horse from Celtic mythology and a creature imported by the Norsemen. As with similar malevolent entities such as the Kelpie, it possibly offered an explanation for incidents that islanders in ancient times could not otherwise understand. I mean, again, that's how folklore works. The best example of it would be Południca, so a noon wraith, right? If you go to work in the fields at noon, you're gonna die. You're gonna die, and it will be the noon wraith that takes you, not the heat stroke, because people didn't know what the fuck a heat stroke is. A demon will take you. That's the explanation. Can't touch fresh water. Would water sensei be useful? I wonder. Can't help but kill humans on sight. Apparently everybody else can also see it. I thought it's only Chise. Rian evades perfectly. Zoe comes in clutch, stopping it for a moment. Not for long though, because apparently it takes a lot of magical power. I assume if Zoe was a full Gorgon, he would be able to just, turn the Naklaweev to stone with a simple gaze, but because he's just a half, he can only stop the Naklaweev, not permanently fossilize it, and it also uses up a lot of power because it's stopped only as long as Zoe looks at it. Poisonous mist. And yeah, we can summon the horsey, and the horsey will help. Interesting that nobody is at all surprised with this thing. Egg something. Not Kelpie. I forgot the proper name for it. With the not Kelpie just appearing. With Chise's dog suddenly turning into a human. Like, everybody's taking it in stride. Joe coming in clutch with that key. And the not Kelpie being much more helpful than it was supposed to be, right? Like, it was supposed to just carry them to fresh water. There was no talk about it helping them kill the Naklaweev. But it did. Kicked it in the water. But alas, it grabbed Chise. And it really doesn't like to be seen, apparently. So long as you look into our side, we will... So he is a neighbor, but not a very nice neighbor. There are neighbors who like Chise and treat her as a queen, and there are neighbors who see her as a danger, I assume, something along those lines. That's a great visual. So many teeth, so many eyes. Is this the eye we've seen in the bushes, I wonder? Horrors must be destroyed. Yeah, thankfully Chise can protect herself. Yellow eyes. Is it the dragon eyes or is it the eyes of Cartaphilus, I wonder? And yeah, she's not herself. She is, whatchamacallit? Not obsessed, possessed. She's possessed by the dragon. With a single swipe, the Naklaweave is no more. Well, not a single swipe, couple of swipes. Easy enough. And Rian, again, comes in clutch with, thanks to Zoe's, not Zoe's, sorry, Joe's. What's Joe's actual name? Isaac. With Isaac's help, iron. Fairies hate iron. So, of course, it will be scared. Why does Isaac have a weapon enchanted into a key with him, I wonder? I'm not good at using sorcery on others, but I'm good at using it on myself. This is cool. This is interesting. I think we already knew about it, and I think I might have already mentioned, but I used to write a story that I never actually finished or never actually published anywhere about a mage. A mage who was thrown out of a prestigious house of mages because she was thought to not be able to use magic, because every time she would try to throw a fireball, it would just fizzle out and not really do anything. But then she meets her mentor, who tells her, hey, try using your magic, in different ways. Try creating a fireball around your hand and punching someone in the face and exploding that fire in their face, and it actually works. And she actually turns out to be a very strong mage by using her magic in like CQC. So Rian seems to be a similar concept. He can't really, heal or throw fireballs or whatnot, but he can maybe enhance his strength or stuff like that, or summon a weapon. Battle mage, essentially. And yeah, no humans for the horsey. I was hoping that Chise's hand will become a little bit more monstrous. That perhaps with every use it will turn closer and closer to the dragon arm, and it will be harder and harder to hide it. Right now, she gets sharp claws. Next time she uses her power, there's some small feathers that appear, etc., 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 until her arm fully turns into a dragon arm permanently. But alas. And of course, Chise mourns it because she actually killed someone. She killed a neighbor. Now, sure, that neighbor was wishing her death and was about to kill her, but still, it's the first time Chise actively took a life, isn't it? Yeah. No humans for you, but here, eat my ponytail, it will have to suffice. And this is a great tragedy of the fairies, right? There is no more drunkards going by the lake at night, no more night travelers walking between villages. There's nothing to eat for me. No one has fell into the lake in a good while. I haven't seen anybody in a good while to give them a ride. And even if I did, even if I offered, people don't know how to ride horses nowadays. Nobody would ride on my back. So they starve because there's no humans for them to eat. How disappointing not to eat you. I've seen that face before. A face of someone who had to kill out of necessity, I assume. That's the blood of someone that Rian killed. Rian killed someone out of necessity. I don't know what to do. Yeah. I didn't know what to do back then either. Kindred spirits. I like it. I like that Chise has something to bond over with everybody. I mean, most people. She has something to bond over with Rian. She has something to bond over with Lucy. She has something to bond over with Philomela. That's cool. And the rest is just ED and spoilers. Okay. Okay. Right. This was a cool episode. Genuinely, really, I enjoyed myself. More of this, please. More episodes like that. Sure. A little bit of talking, a little bit of psychology of Elias and Chise and them talking about their relationships and their hardships, yada 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 yada. That is also important to have. That is also useful to have in the story. Absolutely. I don't dispute that. But I still recall that one episode where it was just talking about what is friendship and what is a relationship. And that was probably the worst episode of the series. Like, taking both seasons so far into account. And I hope there is more balance from that point on, because this episode was balanced. There was a little bit of talking, but there was also a little bit of action. There was also a little bit of pushing the story forwards with new things, new facts about people. And I hope this episode becomes kind of sort of the gold standard so far in the, upcoming episodes. I've seen a glimpse of a spoiler for the next episode of the preview that Chise will be talking to Cartaphilus. I hope it will not be just a whole ass episode of Chise talking to Cartaphilus about her dragon arm. I hope they will, measure it out properly. I'm not against Chise going back to the cottage and talking with Elias, talking with Cartaphilus, learning more about her powers, sharing her insecurities, her doubts, etc., etc. Absolutely. Just don't make it a whole episode. First half, sure, talk to Cartaphilus. Second half, please come back to school and maybe talk with characters at school. Right? Try to befriend Lucy, try to befriend Philomela, try to discover what's Philomela's deal. Talk with Rian, things like that. Things like that, because at times this show really feels like two shows running in parallel. On one hand, we have the season 1 kind of show with Chise and Elias being at home and very slow burn kind of thing. Then again, even in season 1, there was plenty of excitement, plenty of action, plenty of wonder, not a boring moment really. And on the other hand, we have this like school story where Chise is at school, she's meeting new people, experiencing new things, and I definitely like the latter part more. So today's episode was really fit my tastes perfectly, my hopes for this show, for this season. That's what I was hoping for. Chise's adventure at school, Chise's adventure in Sorcerer's Society, essentially. What else is there to say? I like how every character has some secret to them, right? And today's episode has really shown a lot of characters that have a lot of secrets to them. Today's episode talked a little bit about Philomela and her secrets, how she's straying away from Chise, doesn't know what to think of her, she runs away. It's shown us that Lucy has some secrets, has some motivations, some aspirations that are opaque to us. We don't know anything about them. It showed us that Rian has a past, and he's a very special kind of a sorcerer, and he probably killed someone, probably in self-defense, but he still thinks himself a murderer to some degree. It even told us a little bit more about Isaac, or Joe as I call him, who apparently had a halberd enchanted into the form of a key with him, and apparently, according to Rian's words, he always comes in helpful. Right? There's a lot. This episode really did a lot, really made me ask a lot of questions about multiple different characters, so thumbs up, good job. Good job. I think that's it though. I don't think I have anything more to say on the topic of this episode, and I'm also kind of tired after recording 3 episodes back to back. And I'm also kind of hungry because it took a while. So, I'm gonna end it here, but maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic of this episode. Say so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? No spoilers, please. Spoilers, go to Discord here and in the description as well. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Ancient Magus Bride, but also Magia Record, Helk, Zom 100, Nanatsu no Makengashi Heizuru, and Undead Girl Murder Farce, and others coming at you in the future. And I also stream sometimes, so you might want to click the bell icon to be notified when I go live. Support the channel to be notified if support the channel monetarily on Patreon, linked down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Magia Record, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. And you can also support me directly on YouTube via memberships and super thanks and stuff like that, linked down below. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the list of my wonderful Patreons: QB Without a Net, The Corporal Survivor, Zetran, Zay, Rainer, Akamancer, Marsh, Fassel, Dr. Wotuke, and Hans Peter, and you can join them without the need to call forth your dragon arm power.